y'all. So in yesterday's episode of As Portsmouth Turns, man, that thing was spicy. So before we get started, I gotta explain a couple of things to you, okay? So here we go. Keep in mind that 4 of our city council people are up for re-election. So first we're going to start with the Queen Bee. Senator Louise Lucas' daughter, Vice Mayor Lisa Lucas Burke. So she, right now, is on top. Because she got that Martin Luther King Steering Committee endorsement. So the other 2 guys, Whitaker and Barnes, are hoping to get an endorsement too. So pretty much whatever she wants, she gonna get on this city council because they're gonna vote with her no matter what. But at the same time, I'm feeling like she kind of needs Whitaker for something. So I'm not too sure what's going on right there. I can't really trust a person who sides with Whitaker. I almost forgot the most important, my mayor, Shannon Glover. So I'm thinking that they got beef, him and Lisa Lucas Burke, because I'm just guessing here that he was supposed to step down once she announced that she was running for mayor, and he didn't. So let's start getting into these clips. This first clip comes from Councilman Vernon Tillage. He used to be Senator Louise Lucas's aide. So you already know he is Team Lucas.
On emotion. And so I just wanted to speak with you all tonight to talk about this matter. So due to the recent appointment of the city manager, I feel it necessary to address the regrettable dissemination of misinformation, and unprofessional remarks made by certain individuals on this council, especially the mayor. After a thorough nationwide search conducted by our council with a reputable firm, Mr. Stephen Carter emerged as the top candidate. Mr. Carter brings over 7.5 years of service in Albany, Georgia, holding key roles including Chief Information Officer, Assistant City Manager, and City Manager. As a retired United States Air Force veteran with over 3 decades of experience in IT, strategic planning, and leadership, Mr. Carter's qualifications are exceptional. The assertion that another candidate was more qualified for the role solely due to local connections is ludicrous. Mr. Carter's outsider perspective offers valuable insights to tackle our city's challenges, and his diverse experience is crucial for progress. I also must address ongoing concerns that have troubled me since joining this council in 2023. Despite my hopes for positive change, Portsmouth's governance remains entrenched in old networks and vested interests. The promise of progress after the last election has been marred by antiquated power dynamics and resistance to meaningful change. The persistence in the tradition of a quote-unquote good old boy network looms large, hindering progress and upholding a status quo that fails to prioritize the needs of our constituents.
Now he said a whole bunch more. Y'all gonna have to go to the YouTube to see the rest of it. Because this is TikTok. I only got 10 minutes, y'all. Gee.
Interim city manager to take necessary procedural steps to identify an auditor for the performance of a forensic audit of the city's finances and to determine the price of the audit.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the item? Councilman.
So here's the problem with that passionate speech he just gave. So we do a nationwide search for a city manager, yet we don't do a nationwide search for a new city assessor? I wonder why. So Vice Mayor Lucas Burke just pulls a name out of her hat because, again, no search was done. So how do we know the guy in Georgia that turned out to be a crook that they had voted to hire wanted the job?
Sure.
Yeah, so I am not opposed to a turnover audit to clear the books from one city manager to another, but a forensic audit is conducted to gather evidence in the cases of criminal activity. Seems to me that we have no evidence of any criminal activity, and the only way we might gather even an indication that there's criminal activity is to conduct a turnover audit. The turnover audit surely won't cost as much or take as much time as a forensic audit, which frankly could be very, very expensive. And given that we're supposed to be good stewards, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that forensic audit is warranted at this point.
See, that was such a nice idea. And hear what Vice Mayor had to say right after that.
Thank you, Mayor. We all understand we want to give our new city manager a clean slate, and we want to do that fair and equitably and responsibly, fiscally. So I would ask of my colleagues if we could provide an opportunity for our interim city manager to provide the cost relative to a turnover audit versus a forensic audit before we move forward on which one we would proceed with. I think.
What's to stop her from hiring her own firm? Now, watch how she goes back on what she just said. She just said it.
You have the floor.
So did the vice mayor then try to amend that motion to include finding a price for a turnover audit? I think I heard that, but I didn't hear her say she wanted to amend the motion.
Because she didn't say she wanted to amend the motion.
Okay,
That's
then
why you didn't
I
hear
want
it.
to amend
That's why you
the
didn't hear it,
motion.
because she didn't say it.
I'll amend the motion to include finding a price for a turnover audit.
You need a second for that, sir.
No
So,
second.
so we don't have a second on that, so we're back to the original. So I would ask all my colleagues to please vote electronically.
This item is adopted 4-2.